Hello and welcome to a special video on GamesRadar. Today we're looking at Battlefield 4's Naval Strike DLC. I'm Executive Editor Andy Hartup and I'm going to talk you through what I played yesterday. So to start with, you can see the map. Well, the maps, or most of the maps, look pretty similar. That's because this is Naval Strike. It's basically islands and water, various combinations of that. There are 4 maps in the DLC pack, which is due out at the end of March. These maps are Lost Islands, which is sort of like it's just a collection of islands, but with an homage to Lost, the TV show, because there's like a crashed plane in there, and there's all sorts of little grottos. It's a fairly nondescript map. Then there's Naval Strike, which is again, it's more like based around little villages, which sort of dotted in and around the islands, so it's quite cool for stuff like Conquest. But the 2 most interesting maps that come in the pack are Wavebreaker, which you'll see a lot of in this because I captured a lot of footage from that one, which has got a big submarine base in the middle of it and islands right on the outside, and you can go into the submarine base and start shooting each other at close quarters, and there's a big submarine in there for repair which you can knock down onto the floor and it explodes. It's all kinds of awesome. And the final one is called Operation Mortar. Now this one's really cool because in the center of the map there's this like an old naval fort, and obviously there's loads of little tunnels going through the naval fort, so it feels a little bit like, in a strange way, it feels like Uncharted. You know, there's sort of all this old stuff in there, and you get like real close quarters combat going on in these tunnels, and it's quite confusing to find your way around. But when you get to the top of the map in this old fort, there are cannons, like old naval cannons, and you can fire them. And no one's confirmed this, but I am damn sure that if you kill someone with a cannon, well, not only will you feel like a badass, but I reckon you probably get like a trophy or achievement for doing that as well. So that's like a quick run through of the maps. Like I said, thematically they're very, very similar, but you know, they've all got, you know, the 2 best ones, the Operation Mortar and Wavebreaker. You know, they've got unique features which you will really love if you're into Battlefield, which I assume you are because you're listening to this. The DLC also brings with it a new mode and several new weapons and vehicles. The weapons and vehicles are there's a couple of new assault rifles and things like that. The main new vehicle is like a hovercraft, so that's great because you can nip between land and water seamlessly. You can ride it all around the map essentially. And the hovercraft really comes into play during Carrier Assault, which is the new map. Now, I'll just quickly run through the way that Carrier Assault works. You start off, and it plays a little bit like Conquest to start with. 2 teams on the map fighting for possession of 3 different conquest points. Now, when you capture one of these conquest points, what happens is it starts firing a land-to-sea missile at your enemy's carrier, your enemy's aircraft carrier. So when you've captured a point, you start dealing damage to your enemy's aircraft carrier, and you can see little indicators on the side of the screen that show how much health your carrier has and how much health your enemy's carrier has. And obviously the more points you capture, the quicker you knock down their health. Now that's the first phase of the mode. Once your enemy's carrier is knocked down to 50% health, it sort of breaks open and there's a huge hole in it, and what you can do is you can swim or ride a boat right into the middle of the carrier and plant bombs on it. So there are 2 conditions for winning Carrier Assault. One is that you just capture all the points and eventually you will erode all the health from the enemy's carrier and it will sink. However, that never happened in any of our playthroughs because we were going in and planting bombs right in the middle of the carriers, and there's two like rush objectives in there, MCOM stations or MCOM station equivalents that you blow up essentially to win the game. So Carrier Assault, really, really good mode, loads of depth to it. You will enjoy playing it. And as I said, the quality of the maps, they're great. There's loads of detail going on. And yeah, cannons.
We've got loads more videos for you to watch, so do stick around. You can watch our South Park The Stick of Truth video review, or if you've got Dark Souls 2, perhaps you'd be interested in watching our bosses guides. We've got video guides for so many bosses, so you don't die in that. And if you fancy something a bit daft, then there's the 2 Mote shampoo commercial for Tomb Raider. Enjoy.